It's the final showdown. Lukenuk versus Solberg. The Russian Rocket versus the Swedish Wolf. The former champion versus the teenage upstart. Who will win the 2020 ERC title? It all comes down to this weekend. And welcome to Gran Canaria for the grand final of the FIA European Rally Championship. And the revised calendar heads to its westernmost and southernmost point for round 5 on the Canary Islands, with following the COVID-related cancellation of the Spa Rally becomes the host for the final event of the championship. And in hot pursuit of Hungary's tarmac dramas, Rally Islas Canarias is also a sealed surface event. But it's a very different type of rally, fast, high-speed grip, a roller coaster built on the volcanic geology here on the island. Gran Canaria is the third largest of the Canary Island archipelago, a Spanish territory off the Atlantic coast. The season finally started in July in Rome on tarmac, and the 2018 European Rally champion Alexei Lukenuk got off to the perfect start to regain his title, sealing a victory in Italy. Next up, round 2 and Latvia in August, and on the fast gravel roads, it was young Oliver Solberg, the son of legend Petter Solberg, who steered the Volkswagen Polo to victory for his second consecutive title in Latvia. The championship pendulum swung back in Lukenuk's favour on round 3, taking an impressive victory in Portugal. Looks like the Russians' most consistent season ever. However, in Hungary, for round 4, the wheels came off. Solberg's championship challenge, literally blighted by punctures, saw him finish 4th overall. But Lukenuk's biggest problems was a timing error. He got a 5-minute penalty, putting them down to 13th place overall. But Mikkelsen won an impressive comeback, proving that a tarmac win for Mikkelsen after all these years never goes away. Lukenuk leads over Solberg, meaning he can afford to be tactical if he wants to regain the ERC title. The teenage sensation has a mountain to climb. Lukenuk has his eye on the big prize, Solberg fighting for second.
I'm really looking forward to it. It's a championship fight, and it's a lot of drivers here this weekend. Lukenuk is the fastest guy out there, you know, and for me he's one of the fastest also in R5, and he's always putting up a fight, and I knew that before I came into the season that he will be very difficult to beat. In the end I have to win and hope for the best.
You can win, you can lose, it's only points, so I like rallying and that's it. So of course it's important for many reasons, but there's no drama behind it.
Oliver Solberg is my direct opponent for the title in the junior championship, so it will be a really tense battle. I think we both want to get the win in the junior category. I think none of us are specialists in this really high grip tarmac rally, but yeah, it will be really interesting to see which will get the best out of the car and the condition, and try to be the fastest.
Some big names flexing their world-class tarmac prowess this weekend, including M Sport's star Adrian Formeau and Andreas Mikkelsen.
Rally Canarias is very different to Hungary, two different tarmac rallies. This is all about the racing lines and the setup of the cars as well, really different. So I will just go for try to win the rally, try to drive as fast as I can, and give Skoda good results.
As the Spanish round of the championship, many drivers are counting on home support for Pepe Lopez. A win here last year means he has got an advantage over everybody else.
To win this rally, you have to feel the car in all the corners, like a part of your body, you know, because there are a lot of high-speed corners, and so you need to trust a lot in your car, a lot in your setup, and also in the tire.
And with the service park based in Las Palmas football stadium, the stage is set for a grandstand finale. This volcanic island paradise with its breathtaking scenery offers daunting prospect to the entry of nearly 70 cars this weekend. And as always, we're back on the qualifying stage, and the mind game started early. Alexei Lukenuk decides to deliberately slow down, thus securing him a position way down the start list on day number 1. A gamble. So Miko Marcek was fastest through, attacking the qualifying stage competitively. He chose to go 12th on the road. Craig Breen opted to go 15th on the road. And Andreas Mikkelsen, going against the trend, he was the one who wanted to go and open the road, be first on day number 1. As for Suarez, third quickest in the qualifying stage, a high-paced Spanish driver chose 14th on the road. And as for Oliver Solberg, the double championship contender, took advantage of his team spirit and settled for 5th on day number 1. And the fact that this event is sadly behind closed doors under the pandemic protocol, it didn't dampen the spirits of the organisers, who still put on a big show for the official start ceremony on Thursday evening in the football stadium in Las Palmas. The start and finish ramp pitch side for us at the football stadium. And this is where the champions will be crowned on Sunday evening. So a warm Canarias welcome to the best of the European rally competitors, and Friday's leg looks like this. Very compact programme, 4 stages in quick succession in the morning, then repeated in the afternoon, and then a super sprint around the streets of Las Palmas to end the day. However, the rain continues to fall on the volcanic mountains at the heart of the island, and quick changing from sun to rain makes tyre choice almost impossible. And Mikkelsen first on the road to test the waters on the sealed surface. Mikkelsen winning in Hungary a few weeks ago. He was last here in 2012 when he drove for Skoda UK. Mikkelsen took hard slick tyres in the morning, which was not ideal, but Pepe Lopez was keen to repeat his performance last year. However, maybe pushing a little bit too hard. Rear suspension damage after a heavy impact with a palm tree. Palm tree 1, Citroën 0, Lopez out of the rally. Pepe clearly frustrated, just being a little bit hot under the collar on stage number 1. And for Gregoire Munster, the young Luxembourg driver, battling for the ERC1 Junior honours, with 100,000 euros of grant money to the winner in ERC1. Munster looked competitive in the opening stage, but the wrong tyre choice caused a puncture for him and dropped to 44th position overall in day 1. As for Lukanuk, he's won this rally on 3 consecutive years in 2016, 17 and 2018, with co-driver Alexei Antonov alongside him. The Russians have a good advantage and leading the ERC1 Championship, but the tactical start to start further down the field on day 1 didn't really work out very well for him in the end, struggling on slicks. Still on a mission.
If you say that it's dry, and you take dry tires, it can be raining, and opposite. They say it's raining, but you come with wet tires, and it's shining like hell, and it's completely dry. It's a gamble again. I don't know. We need to drop a coin, maybe.
And still only 19 years old, and this is the first time driving on this rally, so no experience of these stages up in the hills. Back driving the Volkswagen Polo. Mathematically, Solberg needs to finish well ahead of Lukanuk on both days to claim the overall title this season. But the wrong tyre choice meant that him and Aaron Johnson, calling the pace notes out here, were off the pace in the morning loop. Dropped to 13th overall.
We didn't expect so much rain, so we went not for the best tyre choice. It was very slippy. You couldn't get any temperature in the tires, so I was on the limit many times of the grip. So I tried my best, and I was maybe way too careful in many places. But it's so easy to do a mistake and be out of the rally. So you have to be smarter.
This is the highly rated French driver Adrien Fourmeau. His second ever ERC event after his debut on Rally di Roma Capitale ended in a sizable accident at the end of July. The former French junior champion driving for M Sport in the WRC this season, but finished the morning loop third overall, leading the ERC1 junior category. From Spain, Avan Ares got on the podium in Fath earlier this season, running his Hyundai himself, has multiple Canarias entries on this event over the years, so has experienced quite a lot here. A very impressive second position after stage number 4. Neil Solons, it's ERC debut for him, and his first attempt at Rally Islas Canarias. Impressive so far. Neil was the 2017 FIA Junior World Rally Champion, so made the most of his decision to fit wet weather Michelin tyres for the opening loop of stages.
It's our first time here, so we didn't expect this rain, but we had some good weather crew on the mountains and they told us to use a wet tyre. We are happy that we have done a very good first loop, and we have to choose right now very good second loop tires because it will be decisive for today.
3 Spanish drivers in the top 5, with Solons heading back to the service park as rally leader. Championship contender Alexei Lukanuk is way off the pace, down in 10th position and 13th respectively. Coming up next, join us after the break to see if it's not so wet November continues to torment the ERC competitors. Who will get the gold at the end of the rainbow? Welcome back to Gran Canaria for the final round of the 2020 ERC, and the weather has proved more challenging than usual here. But rallying was never meant to be easy. First though, let's catch up with the ERC2 and ERC3 drivers. And ERC2, it's full-on battle this weekend for top honours. Tibor Erdi Jr. leads the way, but the Hungarian driver has only an 8-point lead over his main rival, the Italian Zelindo Meligari. And then there's Andrea Mabellini in the Arbath champion, an outside shot at winning the class. And the weather was almost impossible to predict here in Gran Canaria. Mabellini was struggling in the Arbath to keep his title rivals at bay. Zelindo Meligari doing his best to match the championship leader, going faster than Tibor Erdi in stages 2 and stage number 4, but then a crash on stage 7 ruined his title hopes for 2020. Tibor Erdi kept responding to the threat from Meligari, and he was quicker on 4 of the stages before Meligari's crash, and he now has one hand on the crown, but still needs to bring it home safely, which is easier said than done on Canarias. The Polish driver Dariusz Polonski, he knew he had nothing to lose against the title contenders and was on a mission to finish this year with a good result. And that is exactly what he's doing. And ERC3 has been a tough fight all year, especially between Ken Thorne and Bassas. But the unfortunate cancellation of Spa Rally in December means that the title has now been decided, as the points gap is too big and Ken Thorne is the championship winner in ERC3. And there was another champion in this class as well, the reigning ERC1 champion, who made a welcome return to Chris Ingram, having to sit out most of this year. His final weekend of the being champion was now getting some practice with an eye on a return to the ERC in 2021. And with heavy rain showers coming and going, everybody was struggling with tyre choice. Amaury Mole had to cope quite well, but a late engine problem saw him suddenly drop down to 7th. And Pedro Almeida from Portugal. Again, slippery conditions were playing their part for Pedro's time. Slid and hit a barrier on stage number 12, damaging the side of the car. But he kept pushing hard. And the new champion, Ken Torm, was hoping he could make the most of his rally victory lap, but the Estonian was finding the tracks here in the hills extremely wet and slippy, which meant he was having to focus hard to hang on to 3rd place overall. And we welcome back Sindre Furuseth, a regular on the ERC for a number of years. The Norwegian driver was feeling quite at home in the conditions and having a great first leg. He said he wasn't looking at the times, but was just pushing, and it seemed to be working pretty well as he was in 2nd place. As for Joseph Bassas, he missed out on the chance to win the title, but was determined to try and finish this year with a win. So far, so good. It's all going to plan, winning 6 stages today, and has a 20-second lead, setting him up nicely for day number 2.
The times it's very good. It's good for us. But the next round, a little bit keep pushing for the next day.
And so onto the afternoon loop of stages. The ERC frontrunners will get closer to crowning the champions in all categories. It's the same 4 quickfire stages. Eric Seitz have been looking strong in the wet conditions, but an accident in stage number 5 where he hit a bridge. The Fiesta halted for the day, ripping 2 wheels off his car. The crew were okay, but they will return on day 2. Difficult day for Niki Meyer-Mellenhoff from Austria. The morning loop slowed them down a little bit. Had a problem with his clutch in the afternoon, fixed the issues, and back on pace for the 2nd day. A strong morning from Marianne Griebel. Out in the top 5, but visibility issues in the afternoon dropped him down to 9th overall. Josh McAleen from Ireland. Tyre choice had been crucial for him today. With a different set of rubber-related issues that caused him problems, he had a puncture, putting them down to 24th position by the end of the loop. And as for Suarez, the Spanish driver that we've seen on the ERC in the past, concentrating on the Spanish Championship, which is also running alongside the ERC this weekend, had a spin in the morning loop, but was comfortable in the afternoon, ends the day in 5th position overall. Multiple French champion was on a mission this weekend. This is Johan Bonato. After his ERC proper debut in Hungary, he is impressive and on pace. 4th position overall at the end of leg number 1. Wrapping up the day round the streets of Las Palmas in the dark. But Niels Solans, rally leader in the morning loop, lost time after spinning on stage number 6. And because the top 3 are so close, this time drops the Spanish crew down to 3rd overall, but still looking good for a podium. And it was Adrien Fromeau who capitalised on Solon's mistake. The M Sport crew on for a good collection, and in stage 2, winning the afternoon and moving up to 2nd overall. The Frenchman is less than 8 seconds off the lead of the rally in the final stage of the day. And showing that experience on these roads and conditions really matters for Ares, who has been competing here many times before, ends the day as rally leader. The first time on the start list of full ERC honours. Very, very impressive drive for him today. But the Russian crew need to find a balance of pace and safety, and they're still struggling with tyre choice in the wet conditions. Running so far down the start list meant that Lukanuk had completely different conditions to his rivals.
Правый 2,70. Правый 2 минус узко, 40, правый 6 плюс скользко.
But managed 2 stage wins in the afternoon loop, making good progress up the leaderboard. Ends the day 8th overall and only 1.8 seconds behind the championship rival, Oliver Solberg.
Yeah, I'm pissed off with the weather actually, because this was raining 2 stages for us, and no match with the forecast. It just sucks. Yeah, we should be happy there's no snow probably, I don't know.
And a steep learning curve for Oliver Solberg in the extraordinary conditions here in late November. Big moment for him in stage number 7 for the teenager. Lucky to avoid worse consequences than this.
6 right minus tights, 5 plus half long. 5 plus half long, 200. Checker. Yeah. 4 left.
Solberg needs to finish well ahead of Lukanuk in the overall ERC classification to win the title, but moves up to 7th position at the end of day number 1. Again, a short spurt round the streets of Las Palmas to bring it home to the service park.
It's been okay. It's been okay. We were expecting a bit more rain looking at the radar, so I think me and Mikkelsen didn't go with the best tire choice, but we have been very equal in speed, so yeah, the other guys went on slick, so it's been a big advantage, it looks like. But you know what, I've enjoyed. I always enjoy, and this one was very enjoyable, so yeah, it's all I can do basically.
Day number 1 here on the final round of the season. Evan Aris is out on front, Adrian Formeau is behind, and Solans is 3rd overall. Johan Benato is lying just off the podium, halfway through the final round of the season. So, the wild North Atlantic weather, the conditions on the Canary Islands in November have made it difficult for our title contenders. Will there be a final twist in the tail on day number 2? Join us after the break for the season finale. The season showdown continues. It's round 5 of the ERC. In November, this holiday island has a split personality. Sunshine and warmth on the beaches, but inland it can be a very different story. And the stages today for the final round of the season are out to the wild west of Las Palmas, exposed to the mountain scenery, and predictably unpredictable weather is guaranteed. Tyre choice is going to be critical on day number 2 as we wrap ourselves around for 4 stages, repeated again after the midday service, over 100 kilometres of competitive action. And very much the same story as yesterday, tyre choice is based on weather information and will prove very decisive today. All crews out in the service park trying to work out what to take on the morning's loop of stages. As for Craig Breen on the MRF tyres, the only driver that claimed to enjoy stage number 11, probably because of the narrow, wet, fast tarmac roads are similar to the Irish rallying conditions. So let's ride on board with Craig Breen to see how it's done.
Over crest and 3 right tightens don't, and early flat 2 left opens and 3 care tightens minus big don't over crest, and 4 left plus short tightens and flat crest 60 right and care 4 left plus tightens don't over crest, and flat 1 right and stop right over crest 10 5 right minus tightens big don't, and late 5 left minus 50 left 30 late 5 left sharp 30, right tightens the slow, 3 minus tightens, and 3 left tightens in over crest, and flat 2 right maybe nips, 30 right tightens, 3 minus tightens full cut.
Paul Nago calling out the pace notes, but not very enjoyable conditions for most of the other drivers. towards the end of stage number 11, aquaplaning and going off, the conditions catching many crews out. All sliding off onto the grass with more serious consequences than others, the Fiesta Enrique Cruz taking the biggest hit. For safety reasons, this stage was shortened when it was repeated in the afternoon. The organisers electing to take 850 metres off the stage just to keep everyone safe. As for Gregoire Munster, came to this event in the lead of the ERC1 Junior Championship, but yesterday's trials and tribulations may have dropped him out of contention. And here he goes off into a barrier and loses yet more time. 2 punctures and only 1 spare for the former rally leader. Has to slow down and drops down the leaderboard to P15. Disappointment for the Spanish driver, who was the 2017 ERC Junior World Champion. His first appearance for us on the ERC and Rally Canarias. I'm sure we'll see more of Neil Solens later on in 2021. As for Ivan Ares, had a puncture and damage to the rear of the car in stage 13, drops down from the rally lead, has competed on this rally many times before and still in contention for a podium on his home event. Despite the same scare as the others were all aquaplaning on stage number 11, Johan Bernardo capitalised on the problems of Solens and Ares and moved up from 4th overall to 2nd. He had 2 stage wins as well on stage 10 and stage number 12. And the French tarmac specialist Adrien Fourmeau made his ERC debut in Rally Roma at the start of the season and he crashed heavily on that event. But this year, as he's come back here for the final round of the season, no such drama. Really impressive times here on Rally Islas Canarias.
I will say I will keep exactly the same pace. We need to stay focused on the finish line, and many things can happen, so we need to be very careful.
So with Fourmeau leading the rally, Alexei Lukyanuk ahead in the points leaderboard on the ERC Championship standings, on course to take home that silverware this weekend. Tyre choice and weather conditions making life difficult for the Russian crew. Alexei Lukyanuk finished the loop with a stage win on stage number 13. He moves up to 6th overall despite going off the road in stage 11. 3 times winner of this event, clearly rattled at the end of 11. The only driver that could beat Lukyanuk to the overall title is Oliver Solberg, and the 19-year-old's first attempt on this island. It's a new service to him. Consistent pace in the Volkswagen Polo, very impressive.
To middle over crest, 60, 6 right, minus over crest, 60, tunnel cut short, 3 right plus gravel, opens up long spin, 60, 5 right plus.
And as for Solberg, he's looking to beat Gregoire Munster for the ERC1 Junior title, so there should be trophies for him and Aaron Johnson at the end of the day. Had a big moment in the same place as Lukyanuk and the other competitors.
First loop this morning was very, very difficult. It was aquaplaning on many places, as I think everyone went off in the same corner, and then now it's still a very tricky loop to go. So for me, it's still just fully focused on that and do the best I can and do my job, and then we can see if we can celebrate or not this afternoon.
So dramatic loop sees the 2 French drivers at the front. Fourmeau with a relatively comfortable lead. Solberg is up to 4th. But in 6th overall is Alexei Lukyanuk. Has he still got enough pace in the points to win the title? Well, coming up after the break, we've got more stages and the grand finale here on the ERC. The season showdown continues after the break. Welcome back to Gran Canaria, and after a tough season for many reasons, the final stages are about to get underway, and the 2020 ERC champion is yet to be crowned. But first, let's check in with the ERC2 and ERC3 drivers to see how their Rally Canarias is getting on. The ERC2 title was also up for grabs here in the Canary Islands, with Zelindo Meligari and Tibor Erdi gunning for victory. However, yesterday Zelindo Meligari's crash ruled him out of the fight. The Alpine was too damaged to fix overnight, and his rally was done and dusted. As for Andrea Mabellini, the Arbath champion was pushing as hard, but realistically, he just had to hope for Tibor Erdi Jr. to have some kind of problem for him to steal the crown. But he wasn't giving up right down to the wire. The morning didn't start well for Dariusz Polonsky. On stage 10, he hit something, knocked the wheel out of line and caused big issues in the left turns. As for Tibor, he inherited the lead and was really trying to play it safe, knowing the title was quite close and in his grasp.
This is a good year for me, and now I am the famous Hungarian rally driver now, and I'm very, very happy.
Taking the title in ERC2, Tibor Erdi out on front with 159 points. Mabellini second, Meligari third. And in ERC3, the day got off to a challenging start. Everything started well for the overnight leader, Joseph Bassas, but on stage 11, things went very, very wrong. He slid wide, hitting a barrier, causing extensive damage to the left-hand side of the car. Managed to carry on, but there was a lot of work for the team to do when he got back to service at the midpoint of the day. Next it was Sindre Furuseth. He wasn't happy with second place, but was pushing just a bit too hard, and the Norwegian crashed on the same stage. Rally over for Furuseth. And not wanting to be outdone, the new champion Ken Thorn also went off and damaged his car. Although not quite as severe, but he was fastest on the stage. Team putting that back together in service at the midpoint of the day. And as for Chris Ingram, his return to the ERC was going quite well. When the others were suffering on stage number 11, Ingram came through in second place. Helped him jump up the order, showing he's not lost any of his pace, despite driving a slower car on this one-hit wonder this rally. But Joseph Bassas managed to regroup in the afternoon. He calmed down and focused on preserving his advantage. Everything seemed to be going very well until he reached the end of the final stage when the car overheated. And then when he got back to the service park, the team had received outside assistance, moving the car, something that's forbidden in the rules of rallying. And unfortunately, later, Bassas was disqualified. For Ken Thorn, it was a surprise victory, but still well-deserved. For the ERC3 2020 champion, he could finally celebrate the sweet taste of success in Canaries. So it's been a tough season, but Ken Thorn has certainly earned the right to the ERC3 crown, out on front with 150 points, 7 points ahead of Bassas. So on Saturday afternoon, who will add their name to the list of winners of this rally? Carlos Sainz won it 5 times in a row in the 1980s. Gilles Panizzi, Didier Auriol, Jan Kopecky, and of course Alexei Lukanuk. Just 4 stages out of 50 competitive kilometres still to go. So close for Gregoire Munster. Arrived in the Canary Islands leading ERC1 junior class, but a puncture, other issues put him off the pace. Finished 6th overall. On the podium for Callum Devine in ERC1 juniors, the 26-year-old backed by Motorsport Ireland Rally Academy finished in 8th overall. Jose Suarez rocketed up. The 30-year-old Spanish rallying hero signed off the event with a great stage time on stage 17 and finished in 5th overall in Canarias. After describing yesterday's tyre choice as a disaster and it being like bingo, Andreas Mikkelsen picked up the pace in the Skoda Fabia and it was all going good. Back on the island for the first time since 2012. When he was driving in the IRC Championship back then. And a slight problem with the car not starting for one of the stages left them with a 20-second penalty. Ivan Ares has won the Iberian Rally Trophy twice. He's 35 years old, moves up to 6th overall in this rally last year, but uses the experience on these roads to secure a podium in 2020, finishes 3rd overall, 55 seconds ahead. Johan Bonato is a tarmac specialist and very impressive at this event with the Michelin tyres on his Citroën C3. This is his 3rd rally in the 2020 ERC outing for the crew, having secured 2nd place in Pfaff and 14th in Hungary. Finishes here this weekend 2nd on the podium. But always a favourite out in front. Adrien Fourmeau, backed by M Sport on his 2nd outing in the ERC. The 25-year-old Frenchman and Belgian co-driver alongside him have been leading the rally since stage number 12 and managed the gap brilliantly in the afternoon loop of stages, bringing the Fiesta home to a superb win and his first win on the ERC. Fantastic stuff. We're going to see good stuff from him coming up in the future.
It was a fantastic weekend for us, honestly. I can only say thank you to the M Sport team and for Michelin Motorsports, because the tires was really good all the weekend, and we were able to push at each stage with different conditions, so it was really big challenge for everybody, and to finish with the victory like that, just amazing. I need to enjoy that because it's really special for me.
And with the celebrations at the stage end limited to volunteers and rally staff, still a chance to take the traditional rooftop stance to mark this occasion. And the Swedish sensation took the afternoon loop of 4 wet Pirelli tyres, which was not ideal considering it was sunny and drying all the time. Nonetheless, it was a good pace for him to remain in 4th place overall. A formidable team with Aaron Johnson on the pace notes. And he's driving the same Volkswagen Polo that his father Petter Solberg signed off his rallying career with a class win in Rally GB in 2019. Couldn't beat Lukkenuk.
I'm so happy right now. I just enjoyed that last stage, just sliding everywhere with these rain tires, but it's been an incredible season. Okay, I wanted to give the fight to Alexei, but some issues during the year and also some old mistakes has limited us to that, but at least managing to secure the juniors is just incredible. So for my first year in the ERC and first time on many of the races, it's just incredible, and this championship has given me so much experience for tarmac and so on, and that's why I did this, you know, and managing to win on top is just amazing. Congrats to him, well done.
All right.
And yes, congratulations to Alexei Lukkenuk, who has just managed the gap to bring home the Santaloc Citroën C3 to the finish. So all he has to do to seal his 2nd ERC championship title. But getting a bit hot-headed and crazy in the final few kilometers of the rally. But with his original co-driver alongside him after Dimitri made that Clerical error in Hungary. The Alexis are reunited once again. He didn't manage his 4th win in the Canaries, but he wins his 2nd ERC title.
I'm anxiously been waiting for this moment to end this fight in any way, you know, to win or to lose, it doesn't matter, because so many pressure behind and it's growing through the season. So now I need just to breathe in and yes, relax and feel the things around me.
What's it like to have the old partner back in the co-driver's seat with you?
I think it's the most exciting thing this year which happened to me, to be honest, because yeah, I love him. Иди сюда. I love that guy. I love that guy.
So a 2nd title in 3 years for Lukyanuk, but the driver's title for the Santalok Junior team, and you can see what it means to them as they return to the service park. As for Solberg, it's a real family affair, with Pernilla and Petter welcoming their boy back home. A bright future ahead for all of them here. Confirmation of the results then, sizable gaps at the end separating the top 5, with Formeau winning by a margin of 25 seconds over Johan Bonato. Mikko Marcek has started the event quickest in qualified, but hampered by bad tyre choice on Friday, meaning he had to work hard to get back into the top 10. But under new COVID protocols, the 3 crews still got to celebrate. And Formeau takes his first ERC victory. But confirmation after 5 rounds, our European Rally Champion for 2020 is Alexei Lukyanuk, 9 points ahead of Oliver Solberg. Efren Lorena is an equal 6 with Andreas Mikkelsen. Back in April, the prospect of any rallying looked pretty bleak. When the ERC season began in July, Alexei Lukyanuk made it clear his mission was to win the title for a 2nd time, and the Russian driver seemed to have renewed his focus and maturity this season. In terms of pure driving style, it has been his best season ever, starting with 2 wins and a 2nd place. One of the most prestigious trophies in rallying goes back to Mother Russia, and you can see what it means to Alexei Lukyanuk. A short but dramatic season comes to an end. We'll catch you next year.